Drama, bin drama, Arab drama, ole drama, mto drama, nyar drama, asi drama, zote pamoja. Folks, this is a very special celebration video. Celebrating the holiday season. Celebrating as we draw to the end of a very trying and taxing year, but also a very eventful one. But most of all, to celebrate Kumekuchans all over the world. And that's why there's plenty of entertainment on this particular video. Oh yes, because yours truly is going to attempt to perform a song. I kid you not. We'll start with the tributes, and then I'll take you down memory lane. Yeah, for Kenyans who are about my age, and a little younger, and also a lot younger. With the help of some music, we'll go down memory lane, even as I share some very fascinating tidbits about the we all love with all our hearts, called Kenya. Karibu sana. I am sure you'll all enjoy. Let us start with the tributes, and hopefully move very quickly through them. By the way, the song you're listening to in the background is a song which is entrenched in my mind and my heart because I grew up, the most important years of my growing up, listening to it. And I realized later in my life that there were a lot of links that linked back to this old song, of the 60s and 70s. But a bit more on that later. I have to confess I got this idea, the idea for doing this video, from a man I admire and respect, Professor Herman Manyora. You know, I was brought up to respect my seniors. And although I may not agree all the time with the analysis of Herman Manyora, I respect him. He's my elder. And the truth is, these days, I agree with a lot of what he's saying. I even quote him on this channel. Because really, no matter what you say, there's no substitute to experience. And especially when that experience is from a man who loves his country. Professor Manyora did a video recently on how to spend 1,000 shillings for Christmas. Thoroughly entertaining stuff, especially for those of us who are down-to-earth Kenyans. I really appreciate my colleagues here on YouTube, who help all of us to keep tabs on what is going on in Kenya, politically, what is really going on, so that at least we're okay, even when the mainstream media misses some very important stuff. Which happens a lot these days. But I want to pay tribute to just one more political analyst. Up and coming, Lee McQueenie. I hope I've pronounced it correctly this time. This analyst, believe it or not, was one of the very first subscribers to the Kumekucha brand. He helped keep Kumekucha going when very few people knew what I was trying to do. Asante sana ndugu. And please keep going. All for a better Kenya. Now let's move on to wageni wa heshima. The people who have financed me and continue to finance me without fail. Now unfortunately, nobody has given me permission to use their real names. And I have to start with Bwana J.O. This man, every month without fail, unitumia kakitu. Na sika kitu kadogo. God bless you, my brother. Mpaka ushangae. You know what I try to do here is not cheap. And of course, times have gotten harder for everybody. Yeah, especially over the last 2 years. I have frequent fights with the person who does my finances. And the fight is always between the right thing for a better Kenya and the right thing for better finances. And then there's Bwana PM, based in the US, who was recently jobless. And sometimes we disagree very strongly with Bwana PM, but that doesn't change his commitment to support me at least twice a year. He was even recently hospitalized over something serious. That still didn't stop his commitment. Then there's Yule Jamaa wa 7G. The man who founded our Telegram forum, a very informative, extremely informative forum. I've learned a lot on that forum myself. In fact, whenever I step into Telegram, CK Telegram forum, I have to make sure I'm switched on. Otherwise, nitajiaibisha. True story. Bwana 7G, thanks for your sacrifice. Then I have my big brother. Yeah? You know, when you have a big brother, there are 2 ways you can take it. Some people don't like a boss above them. They like to be boss. But I choose the other way, the way of wisdom. Because when you have a big brother, kikiumana, you have a big brother. Things are okay. Then I have an old school friend, S.O. The very first book I published, S.O. was there to buy a copy. When S.O. discovered that I am the man behind Kumekucha, he recognized the voice immediately. You can't live with somebody in the same place for over 5 years. High school in the same house, and you fail to recognize his voice. He was here in a flash. And S.O. is a very wise man. When he discovered that I had gone off track over the immediate former president of the US, he educated me. And I listened. And I learned. You know, these days the way people educate others is by using insults. Chris, you're wrong. And you're not very clever. Etc., etc. And then there's the other old school friend. Thanks so much, guys. I am humbled. And I still respect you. And then I have my lady friends. Oh, and there are many. There are so many. And what I love most about them is that they are very sincere. When they are mad at me, they let me know immediately. And they even somea me regularly. Wewe Chris, kula hiyo kambuzi kidogo. Lakini wewe Chris, wewe Chris, chunga. I really appreciate all of you. And there's so many others. I can't mention all of them. Bwana I.M., who inspired the semi-annual gifts to Kumekucha, and so many others who've made a sacrifice. My apologies if I've not mentioned your initials. But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. You make so many things possible that would have been impossible. You see, sometimes a story breaks. I have to travel to get the right information because I'm very committed in what I do. Extremely committed. So much so that there was a time there was very serious resentment from some members of my family, some of whom felt very strongly that I was married to those people of yours. But thank God they came round. Happy holidays to all of you. And thank you so much. And may the good Lord bless you abundantly, even as we finish this year. And may you have a very prosperous 2022. I cannot leave you out, my dear subscribers. Yeah, over 100,000 of you who have stuck with me even when I churn out stuff that you don't like. You turn up regularly to support my videos. Asante sana, and be blessed abundantly. I want to dedicate this special song, Simba Mwituni, playing in the background. Yeah, you can find it elsewhere on YouTube. It's by Nyamwezi Jazz Band. You know, in the old days, all bands were called jazz bands, even though they didn't play jazz music. And the name of this group was changed to Jamhuri Jazz Band, yeah, by Julius Nyerere, who fought tribalism in Tanzania right from the beginning. Yeah, this band is from Tanzania, or rather was from Tanzania. I'm sure all the Kenyans remember those good old days. Yeah, on your screens now you can see some of the old brands from those years. The old brands in our homes as we grew up. Very nostalgic. And of course the transistor radio in every Kenyan home. Yeah, which was the main source of entertainment. Those days, there was no social media. There was no TV, very little TV actually. Yeah. And I remember I got my first serious beating as a kid when I tried to open up the radio to find out who was talking inside as a youngster. Yeah, my curiosity, yeah, which I still have, and I believe serves me well these days in political analysis. I still remember vividly listening to this song. Saa zile stima zilikuwa zimepotea. Yeah, and it was dark in the house with candles. And the Simba, the lion they sing about in this song, became very real for me. The same group sang another hit called Shingo la Upanga. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yes, there it is. Now, fascinatingly, a man called Wilson Kinyonga and his brother George Kinyonga joined this group in 1966. Yeah, I think I was only about 3 years old. But there's a story here, yeah, a link to something that happened later in my life. Now, these two very talented Tanzanians later formed a band called Simba Wanyika, which later became Les Wanyika, and had people like Omari Shaban and John Gereza. Yeah. I became very attached to their music, and I was very fortunate to later on meet in person Omar Shabani, yeah, who was better known as Professor Omari, the man who put together the hit song, Sina Makosa. Wewe uko na wako nyumbani, na mimi na wangu nyumbani, chuki ya nini? Sina makosa we baba, tetere tere, tetere. Yes, that song. And I met this great composer at the tail end of his life, when this song, which became such a hit, made him so rich so quickly that it actually finished him, which was a very valuable lesson to me about this life, and should be to anybody. The super amazing thing is that people still enjoy this music decades later, as they do the songs composed by John Gereza, Afro, and my all-time favorite, Nimaru. Great Kenyan rumba music I highly recommend for this holiday season. And I've put a link to all these beautiful songs, timeless, in the description area below. Yeah, for your enjoyment in this holiday season. I've also included Bob Marley's song, Redemption Song, which I believe was a song ahead of its time, with great advice on how we can survive the very uncertain future we face. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. That's the message. Very powerful message. Happy holidays, folks. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.